Breaking local news on the fast track to the top of the hour this Friday morning. A 2-alarm fire in a Fargo convenience store that left the building with a lot of smoke damage. Fire crews say there was a problem with a dryer inside the Casey's in the 200 block of 42nd South around 4 o'clock in the morning. An employee kept a small fire from spreading by snuffing flames with an extinguisher. No injuries were reported, and fire crews are still assessing damage to the store. We also have breaking news on an Amber Alert out of Minnesota. A 2-year-old child is found safe, and police have one suspect in custody. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension canceled the Amber Alert early this morning, but there aren't any details to how the child was found and who the suspect is. We can expect more information later today from the Pope County Sheriff's Department. Police were scrambling to find 2-year-old Robert Ramirez, who they believe he was kidnapped early yesterday morning in the city of Westport, which is about 20 miles southeast of Alexandria. A Minnesota native has been killed in Ukraine after a Russian attack in the city of Cherkiv. The U.S. Embassy is confirming the death of Jim Hill, who is in Ukraine seeking medical treatment for his partner. Hill's sister says Jim was in a bread line with several other people yesterday when they were gunned down by Russian military snipers.
The biggest thing that we're struggling with right now is not even knowing where his body is. So that closure of just being able to know where his body is.
Hill was a social worker and a forensic psychologist taught all over Europe, but his sister says Ukraine is where he fell in love. He is also the second American to die in the Russian invasion of Ukraine. She was a person of interest for a long time in North Dakota murder, but prosecutors say 34-year-old Nicole Rice admitted the crime to her boyfriend. She was charged yesterday with the 2007 stabbing death of her roommate, Anita Knutson. Prosecutors say Rice told police that she was at her family's farm in Vanilla when Knutson was murdered. But her statements, as well as those of her family, were inconsistent, and they also contradicted each other. Rice is being held at a $250,000 bond. She could face life in prison without parole if convicted. Anita Knutson was an 18-year-old Minot State University student whose body was found in her off-campus apartment after not being in contact with her family for several days. Time now is 6:53. Here's Nathan with a look at your morning forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Phoenix. Happy Friday, everybody. A foggy start to our morning, though. Look at this, our Dakota Magic Casino Skycam showing the fog and the lights there, and a very calm wind on the flags in the parking lot. So we're seeing a lot of that calm wind and a lot of fog across the region this morning as well. 33 right now in Fargo, 34 across the river in Moorhead. Of course, that calm wind in Fargo as well. Look at this. Visibility is reduced for quite a few folks. Notice yesterday was Lakes Country that saw the worst of it. Lakes Country today just fine. It's pretty much everybody else that's seeing those reduced visibilities. Oaks at 0, Jamestown half mile, 0 in Cooperstown. Of course, with sub-freezing temperatures, could be seeing some freezing fog, which means that fog is freezing on those cold surfaces. Could be seeing some slippery spots anywhere there's fog this morning. Of course, make sure to use those low beams and slow it down if you do encounter that fog on your commute this morning. 0 visibility in Roseau, Thief River Falls a half mile. Our friends in Grand Forks there at a quarter-mile visibility. There's those temperatures, 20s and 30s for a good rule of thumb across the Southern Valley. We got 23 in Jamestown and Valley City. Toward the north can do the cold spot right now, 19. 23 in Grand Forks. Again, cold enough for some icy spots from the melting yesterday that is refrozen, and then that freezing fog making again for some slippery spots. So just take it easy on your morning commute this morning. Satellite and radar for us is clear and quiet, but we are watching a robust low pressure system in the southern part of the country that's bringing some severe weather to areas of Missouri down through Mississippi into Alabama. We'll keep those folks in our thoughts today, but for us closer to home, no summer-like weather, but we will be warm as we head into the afternoon. Notice this, by 9 o'clock still sub-freezing for most everybody, but then by lunchtime we get above that freezing point. The melt is on, the south wind picks up as we head toward dinner time, and that will keep our temperatures in the 30s and 40s for a good rule of thumb for high temperatures today. And then we will see that mild air continuing even later on tonight, and of course that south wind means the weekend is looking really good. Take a look at this. For tomorrow, 45 degrees for that St. Patrick's Day parade in Fargo. Looks really good. And 50 for Sunday, the first day of spring. So Phoenix, things looking all systems go for this weekend.
Well, thank you for that, Nathan. Time now is 6:55. New information this morning on that deadly car crash that killed 9 people, including several players on a New Mexico college golf team. Police are now confirming that a 13-year-old was driving that truck and that hit the school van. Officials say that the front and left tire of the truck, which was a spare, failed, causing the truck to swerve into oncoming traffic. The pickup hit the van head-on. Investigators believe several people in both vehicles were not wearing seatbelts. Bomb threat in a Minnesota school. Students were evacuated from Esco High School yesterday after police got an anonymous 911 call claiming there were explosives inside the building. Now, everyone cleared the building as explosives canine units searched through the classrooms and lockers. Nothing was found. Students were allowed back to collect their belongings. We all know there are people out there looking to steal your money, information, and identity. One Fargo woman is coming clean after being scammed herself. She says someone was impersonating country star George Strait, and she ended up losing $900. She said this scam had gone on for months. She was asked to pay for money to be part of the George Strait's fan club. After time was wasted, she was offered the position of being the vice president of the fan club, but she had to pay more money. Well, it finally came to an end when her boyfriend intervened and she sought help from a pastor and a counselor.
I'm getting scammed, and I'm going, I couldn't believe when my friends are, and I'm going, I knew what to do, but when it actually happened, I was denying it.
The FTC says there are 4 signs to watch for. First, scammers, they pretend to be from an organization you know. Second, they will say there is a problem or a prize is involved. They'll also pressure you to act immediately. And they're also going to tell you how to pay in a very specific way. Business is up in the MAP bus as gas prices inch upward. The last time gas prices looked this way was back in 2008. The transit system saw a 12% increase in ridership. In the past few weeks, they've already seen 20% more people hopping on board. And a reminder, face masks, they are still required at all MAP bus vehicles. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wants to put more cash in your wallet. He's proposing direct payments of $500 to single tax filers and $1,000 for married couples. It's all part of the governor's updated plan for how to spend that state's enormous budget surplus, which has grown to $9.25 billion.
To make a difference at the pump, to make a difference at the grocery store, until we get stability in the Ukraine, get Russia out of the Ukraine, get some stability in our prices, it would help Minnesotans. It's a smart way to do it.
State Republicans are pushing to use the most popular surplus for permanent income tax cuts, while House Democrats want to target the money towards lower income Minnesotans and social programs. The new Fargo Police Advisory and Oversight Board is now training as they prepare for new roles as a community bridge to police force. Members are learning about the ins and the outs of how the police department functions.
Needs their police service and any other stakeholders that we can bring into that mix is only going to benefit everybody in the long run.
The group was formed to help provide a community perspective to policy and programs of Fargo PD. Canada is easing up on its pandemic restrictions starting next month. Travelers won't need a COVID-19 test to get in beginning April 1st. Tourists crossing the border will still need to be vaccinated. You can upload details on the Arrive Can app. Well, don't forget the big parade is tomorrow. Annual St. Patrick's Parade in downtown Fargo starts at 11 a.m. Ongoers go from Broadway into the NP Avenue through downtown Fargo. This year's parade, it's going to include 50 floats. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hope you have yourself a great weekend. The Day Show and the CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on.